Let's be brutally honest for a second. The moment she walked away, the moment the connection broke, the very first instinct that shot through your gut was dead wrong. Every impulse you had, every text you thought about sending, every scenario you played out in your head where you'd be the bigger man, the rational man, the man who could talk this out. It was all a complete and utter betrayal of your own power. You thought the path back to her, or at least back to her respect, was paved with communication and understanding. You wanted to explain. You wanted to make her see. You wanted to show her the man she was leaving behind. And in doing so, you were about to do the one thing that would guarantee she would never, ever truly miss you. You see, the greatest misconception men have about losing a woman is that she misses the man. She doesn't. She misses the feeling. She misses the energy. She misses the reflection of herself she saw in his eyes. And when you disappear, when you go silent, she doesn't miss your absence. That's a void, an emptiness. It's nothing. What she misses, what haunts her in the quiet hours of the night, what makes her question everything, is not your silence, but the deafening roar of your transformation. The game isn't about vanishing so she'll come looking for you. That's amateur hour. That's the move of a man who thinks his value is in his presence. Your value, my friend, is in your evolution. The real strategy is to become so unrecognizable in your growth that the man she left behind becomes a ghost, a distant memory of a lesser being. You don't make her miss you by going quiet. You make her miss you by building a life so compelling, so vibrant, and so powerful that your silence isn't silence at all. It's the sound of you moving on to something far greater. She won't miss the man who begged her to stay. She will ache for the man who had the strength to let her go and then built an empire in the space she left behind. It's time to stop thinking about how to get her back and start thinking about how to build a man she was never qualified to have in the first place. Let's start with the first, most critical error you're making right now. You're trying to explain your value. You're crafting paragraphs in your mind, arguments that are perfectly logical, emotional appeals that you think will reopen her heart. Stop. The very second you feel the urge to justify your worth, to explain your changes, to prove your potential, you must understand that you have already lost. It's over. Explaining is begging. It's a subtle, dressed-up version of getting on your knees and pleading for another chance. It's broadcasting a signal of low value. Think about it. Does a king explain why he is the king? Does a lion explain why it is the apex predator of the savannah? No, their power is self-evident. It is demonstrated, not declared. Your transformation must be the same. You don't text her, "I'm working on myself." You don't post cryptic stories on social media hoping she'll see them. That's still trying to get a reaction. That's still playing her game. The real power move is to go completely dark on that front and become blindingly bright in your own reality. Let your evolution be the message. Let her hear about it through the grapevine. Let her stumble upon a photo of you months from now and not even recognize the energy in your eyes. Let her see you moving with a purpose that has absolutely nothing to do with her. The man she left was predictable. His actions were all in some way a reaction to her. The new man, the man you are becoming, his actions are dictated by his mission, by his principles, by the fire he has ignited within himself. This unspoken transformation is 1,000 times more potent than any well-written paragraph. She will feel that energetic shift across town, across the country. She will feel you detaching, not as a tactic, but as a genuine consequence of your upward trajectory. You don't need to prove you've changed. You just need to change. The rest takes care of itself. Her curiosity will do more work than your words ever could. She'll start asking herself, what is he doing? Why does he seem different? Happier? That questioning, that seed of doubt in her decision, that's what you want. And it's planted not with words, but with your undeniable, unapologetic growth. Now, let's talk about where you're putting your focus, because right now, it's a liability. When she pulls away, the average man's mind becomes a vortex of obsession. He becomes a detective, a spy, an emotional archaeologist trying to dig up clues. What is she thinking? Who is she with? Did she read my message? Why hasn't she watched my story? Every ounce of his mental and emotional energy flows out of him and into her, leaving him drained, weak, and powerless. You are literally giving away your life force to someone who has chosen to not be in your life. You have to understand this critical truth. Your power is in your focus. It resides where you place your attention. The moment you start orbiting her reality, you become a forgotten moon. The goal is to become the sun, the center of your own damn universe. You have to ruthlessly reclaim your focus. This means when the thought of her enters your mind, you acknowledge it, and then you physically get up and do something that serves your future. You do a set of push-ups. You read a page of a book. You write down one goal for your business. You meditate for 2 minutes. You reprogram your conditioned response. Instead of her thought leading to more thoughts about her, it becomes a trigger for your own self-improvement. It's a profound shift. You stop being a passive victim of your thoughts and become an active architect of your reality. She will feel this. People can sense when they are no longer the center of someone's world. When she realizes that you are not waiting, not watching, not hoping, but actively building, your absence in her life stops being a simple silence and starts becoming a palpable loss. She didn't just lose a boyfriend. She lost access to a man who is on a clear and compelling path. Your grounded energy, your unshakable focus on your own progress, that is the most attractive force in the universe. Do not give that power away for anything or anyone. Guard your focus with your life, because it is your life. This brings us to a more advanced, more subtle technique. Most men think they need to vanish completely to make a point. They block, they delete, they disappear, making a grand, dramatic gesture that screams, "Look at how much I'm not contacting you." It's childish. It's an emotional reaction disguised as a logical tactic. The truly powerful man understands a far more potent concept. He can make her feel his absence in a room he's still standing in. Imagine this scenario. You're at a mutual friend's party. The old you would have done one of two things: either avoided her completely, creating an awkward tension, or tried to get her attention, seeking validation. Both are weak. The new you does neither. You walk into that room and your energy is not for her. It's for everyone. You are present, you are laughing, you are engaging, you are the source of good vibes. You talk to her friends, you talk to new people. You are fully immersed in the moment, radiating a confidence that is completely self-contained. You're not cold or bitter towards her. If she speaks to you, you are polite, calm, and brief, but then your attention immediately returns to your own experience, to the people you are with. What does this do? It forces her to become a bystander to your life. She is watching you exist, powerfully and happily without her. She's in the same physical space, but she is emotionally a million miles away. She can see the man she used to have this incredible connection with, but the plug has been pulled. The current is no longer flowing in her direction. That warmth, that attention, that special look in your eye that was once reserved only for her is now either gone or diffused among the entire room. This hits harder than any block or delete. It's a real-time demonstration of your new reality. You're still there, a living, breathing reminder of what she let go of, but the part of you that was hers is gone forever. She will feel a sense of loss that is immediate and visceral. It's the ghost of your presence, and it will haunt her far more than your complete disappearance ever could. Let's dig deeper into the internal battle you're fighting. You can do all the external things right. You can delete her number, throw out her pictures, stop talking to her. But if you're still scrolling through her social media at 2 a.m., if you're still rereading old messages, if you're still having imaginary arguments with her in the shower, then you haven't cut contact at all. You've just created a prison in your own mind, and she is the warden. Most men focus on severing the physical ties, but they remain hopelessly entangled in the invisible strings of emotional and mental attachment. This is the real work. This is the fight for your freedom. You have to evict her from the real estate in your head. She is living there rent-free, occupying your most valuable asset, your mind. True no contact is not about not talking to her. It's about not talking to yourself about her. It's about achieving a state of genuine, peaceful indifference. Not a forced, angry indifference, but a calm, centered state where her actions, her life, her choices simply no longer register on your emotional radar. How do you do this? You have to become a ruthless bouncer at the door of your mind. The moment a thought of her tries to enter, you don't entertain it. You don't fight it. You simply deny it entry and pivot your focus to something that matters. Your mission, your workout, your business, your passion. It's a practice, a mental martial art. And as you get better at it, something incredible happens. The energy shifts. You see, people are energetically connected, whether we admit it or not. She will feel it when you finally, truly let go. She will feel the drop in that constant stream of psychic energy you were sending her way. It will feel like a sudden silence on a line that she didn't even know was open. That energetic void will confuse her. It will make her wonder why she's not on your mind anymore. And that is infinitely more powerful than her just noticing that you haven't texted. You don't just stop contacting her. You stop caring. And the universe will make sure she feels the difference. This leads to a crucial distinction that most men fail to grasp. There's a universe of difference between being unavailable and being unreachable. Anyone can be unavailable. You can turn your phone off. You can ignore a text. You can go on a trip. It's a temporary state of being physically out of reach. It's a tactic, but being unreachable? That's a whole different dimension. That's a permanent state of being. Unreachable means that the version of you she once knew, the man whose buttons she could push, the man whose emotions she could manipulate with a single text, no longer exists. He's gone. You've undergone a quantum leap in your personal evolution. She may still have your phone number, but she no longer has access to your soul. She can't touch your peace. She can't disrupt your focus. She can't shake your newfound confidence. You are not ignoring her to punish her. You have simply elevated to a frequency she can no longer tune into. This isn't about playing hard to get. It's about becoming hard to get because your standards have risen. Your time is more valuable. Your emotional energy is reserved for those who are fully aligned with your path. When a woman senses this shift, when she realizes that her old keys no longer fit the locks on your being, it drives her insane. All her old moves, her subtle tests, her attempts to get a reaction, they all bounce off you. It's like trying to knock over a mountain with a pebble. This transformation from available to unreachable is the ultimate power shift. You're not pulling back to make her chase. You've leveled up so profoundly that the old you isn't even in the race anymore. You've outgrown the game itself. And when she looks up and sees you on a completely different level, a level she can't access, that's when a primal sense of loss and regret begins to take root. She didn't just lose a man. She lost an opportunity to be with the man he was becoming. So many people will give you the generic advice to just move on. They'll tell you the way to get over one woman is to get under another one. This is shallow, flawed advice that only perpetuates a cycle of dependency. You don't need to move on. You need to move up. This isn't about replacing her. This is about upgrading yourself so profoundly that she becomes irrelevant. Think of it this way. Your life with her was a small, cozy chapel. It was nice, it was comfortable. But your destiny is to build a grand cathedral. You don't get over the chapel by finding another chapel. You get over it by dedicating yourself to the monumental task of building your cathedral. Your purpose, your legacy, your physical and mental fortitude, your financial empire. You become so consumed by the blueprint of your own greatness that you forget the smallness of what you left behind. You elevate every single aspect of your being. You sculpt your body into a work of art. You sharpen your mind into a lethal weapon. You build your finances into a fortress of freedom. You cultivate a circle of brothers who hold you to a higher standard. You don't do this to show her what she lost. That's still making it about her. You do it because to remain the same man she left would be the ultimate insult to your own potential. And a funny thing happens as you climb higher. Your perspective changes. The things you once thought were mountains become molehills. The person you thought you couldn't live without becomes a footnote in a much grander story. It's not about spite or revenge. It's about growth. You're not stuck on her chapter. You've outgrown the entire book that she was in. And from that elevated vantage point, she may look back and think, wow, he really changed. But by then, you'll be so far up on your path, so focused on the horizon, that you won't even hear her. Finally, and this is the point that ties everything together, you must understand that your silence is utterly meaningless if it is not backed by substance. Most guys get this wrong. They go silent and then they just wait. They sit by their phone, checking it every 5 minutes, hoping, praying for that text to come through. Their silence isn't a strategy. It's a passive, desperate holding pattern. It's empty. It has no weight, no power. Silence without substance is just quiet desperation. But when your silence is filled with the sounds of your own growth, it becomes a weapon. Your silence needs to be filled with the clang of weights in the gym. It needs to be filled with the turning of pages in books that expand your mind. It needs to be filled with the sound of new business deals being closed, new friendships being forged, new adventures being had. Your silence isn't empty. It's overflowing with life, with progress, with action. Her silence is just silence, an absence. Your silence is a symphony of self-creation. She's not just missing your texts. She's missing out on the entire journey of the man you are becoming. She chose to leave the guy who waited for life to happen. You have to become the guy who makes life happen. The man whose energy is so forward-moving, so creative, so powerful, that it creates its own gravitational pull. This is the ultimate reframe. You are not the one who was left. You are the one who was set free. You were released from a situation that was holding you back from becoming this new, formidable version of yourself. Your silence isn't about her. It's about you. It's the sacred time you need to forge the next chapter of your identity. And when that silence is backed by relentless, undeniable action, she won't just miss you, she will respect you. And in the long run, her respect is worth infinitely more than her attention. So let's be clear, this isn't about playing mind games. It's about fundamentally changing the game itself. You don't make a woman of quality miss you by manipulating her emotions or by trying to erase yourself from her life. You make her miss you by becoming so full of your own life, so driven by your own purpose, that your presence becomes a privilege. She begins to realize that she didn't just walk away from a person. She walked away from a certain kind of future, a future with a man who was constantly evolving into something more. The goal is not to be chosen by her again. The goal is to get to a point where you are doing the choosing, where you are the gatekeeper of your own